So, welcome, friends. I'm Kris, and I'm your Cardvoyant, and this is the second part of a reading about 2023, what to expect, what we can do to make it, the best year possible for ourselves and others. There's a lot to get to still in this reading, so I hope you enjoy it. Right, but that's why you get this Chariot card, because the Chariot is all about movement forward and transformation, even as it's carried by these two sphinxes, um, and these two figures that you see in this really beautiful depiction in the vice versa cherub. So the different figures leading, pulling this chariot, because this is the idea of the different parts of self, right? And which part are we choosing to allow us to really go forward with? Like who is stronger? So in which direction will we ultimately be moved? When I pulled this card as well, it comes with I pulled it with the rear view. So let's talk about that, because in this vice versa tarot, you can see this beautiful path that is this sort of eternal non-physical path attempting to lay the groundwork to move this chariot forward if we will allow it to. And you see it sort of riding into the future here on this path that can so easily crumble away because it is dependent upon this physical life, mankind laying out this road that's taking us forward. So where is it taking it, and how is it taking us? We can see the support it has here from the universe, but we ultimately have to build it, and we ultimately in the physical world have to travel it. There's a lot of other imagery on here, but I want to just talk about the messages that they're giving me. And they're saying that this year is pivotal in moving us forward in the direction that we want to go, so that we don't have to have more course correction. And they're saying that like these past few years have very much been about course correction that we have brought about. Like we realized, so many of us, and as a collective, the direction that we were going, the direction that the world was going. And we sort of put in place this major course correction, the pandemic and so much more. And it's not done, because it's not like we're set on that course perfectly. It's not done. There's more that's happening, and there's more things that need to crumble and fall by the wayside to bring us onto the path that truly moves us toward love. But we have to do so much individually and collectively to see that light that is love, which is why you get that Knight of Wands. Right? We're going to be this year moving quickly in one way or the other. I feel like we're moving very much toward, there's like a gathering movement of being like, no, we do not want that. We do not want these acts. We do not want people acting this way, certain groups, right? We do not want that. We are moving toward love and light. And, wands are about the things that we care about, these passionate things we're caring about. And we need to, and we will be moving toward them this year. But is very much each of us doing that. And I have to say, because it's funny, it makes sense, because wands cards are often, they're about creative energy, and we're talking about us creating our energy here. But they do want me to mention the arts, the softness that the arts bring to our lives are a manifestation on earth of the softness. That's how I sort of see it and feel it, this soft glowing light that represents everything that is and makes up the non-physical world, sort of this eternal love and light. And they're best, not only, but best manifest in the various arts, all kinds of arts, anything that's lovingly created. But we do think of that often as these sort of creative endeavors, whether it's, painting or drawing or sculpting or music or writing. They're showing me things like beautiful gardens, these things that we create that really are commemorative of this beautiful love that we understand deep in our souls. And this is the love that is and makes up the non-physical world, and that part of it that we carry into physical life. And as that grows within us, and as it's manifested outside of us in all of these various ways, in loving acts, in loving duty and kindness, and the loving things that we build. And often, not always, because it just runs the gamut, like from A to Z in the things we do, but it can be seen and experienced through the arts. And that's so important. And it's so important for us to seek these things out and embrace them and create them. If you are able to, um, because it allows us to see, feel, touch, experience the non-physical world in the physical. That's what they say. The Five of Pentacles, I'll say it just in the Rider-Waite deck, you can see. But the Five of Pentacles, I always call it the winter of my discontent card. It's a difficult card. It does talk about this sort of wintry movement through something, like this trudging through a difficult time. But it does talk about, even though it may surround us, it may sort of take us down for a while, it may make things difficult for us, it is about moving through it. Even though, I mean, seriously, it's not right to chastise anyone for sort of taking a breather and just saying, for whatever hopefully small amount of time, just saying, I can't, I just need to take stock for a minute, take a breath for a minute, I have to sit back for a minute, I can't fight every minute. And it feels like it's almost like, when you have a choir and you're sustaining a note, like the end note of a song, and it's really long. And what they will tell you in choir is, don't everybody take a breath at once, but you take breaths, a few people at a time, so that we sustain the note, but allow for that nourishment, that nourishing breath individually in bits and pieces. And this is what this Five of Pentacles is talking about. It is really important and incumbent upon us to move things forward. But there's never judgment. There's always help, right, from our guides. So we can ask for that help. We can seek that help from others and from our guides when we need it. It feels, and I felt like this for a long time, and part of it happens this year, but it happens for many years, this sort of flowering, this sort of new beginning. But in the midst of that, we do have this sort of Five of Pentacles. Pentacles are all about earth, right? So this Five of Pentacles sort of heavy energy, and we really need to help each other. We really need to seek out help when we need it. We really need to sort of take precautions, whether this is with our health or with our individual finances or with our families. We need to do the best that we can to protect ourselves, just from difficulty. But when we're in the midst of it, there's no shame in regrouping and asking for help from our guides and from others, right? Look at this beautiful back here on this vice versa card. I mean, obviously, the figure in this card is taking a breather, trying to figure things out in a difficult situation. But now he's inside, right? This is the other side of that beautiful stained glass window. And I always say, this is a church. And as you go inside, you find respite, you find relief. We have this available to us always, right? And it can also help us figure things out, like determine where we're going or what we need to do next as people, as families, individuals, as families, as communities. So this is just a reminder, as we're sort of coming to this last and central card, that this is a story of Earth's life. Right? We can't feel that we're in the wrong because we don't always feel like smiling our way through. Right? We sometimes need to take a breath, take stock, seek help, work with others, or sometimes we need a little bit of like hermit like solitude to figure things out, and that's okay. Now this coming year 2023, like I said, there's a lot of like really, it feels like sunlight, it feels like good things happening, but it does feel like there are these seven of swords moments, people who that are caught up, they're just caught up in sort of the world and things. So even though there is this like lifting and there's a lot of brightness in this world and in this year and a lot of good things happening, there continue to be these things and these people and these circumstances and these institutions that are not moving toward love and light, and can see like sort of the self-aggrandizement via either keeping each other down or sort of doing cheaty kind of things, or sort of trying to shape the world into what they think is right, rather than this loving energy of let's lift each other, this loving rising tide lifts all boats energy. They're kind of like the opposite of that. And they're very much wanting to restrict what happens in this misguided attempt to build safety in their own world or construct the world in a way that benefits them. Love is always the greater force. And I have to say that love and loving people and people who are moving toward this love are a far greater majority than we realize. There's this lot of 50-50ism that goes on from people and from the media and different things like that. It's not the truth of the situation. The truth of the situation, look at this Two of Pentacles, because this does talk about like 50-50ism in a way. That's it. And that what they're bringing about in this card is this understanding of what is truly happening. But they do want me to say that it's not 50-50. There are a far greater number of people who will always lean toward love and help and understanding. And sometimes people need guidance. They need to experience something to say, oh, now I understand. And so now I can lean more toward love because I understand you, or I understand your circumstance, or I understand your feelings. So that's happening now, and there are people who are in the midst of learning that. But the vast majority of people, like, 85%, or like 70%. And then once they learn, 85-90% of people who really are, who embrace love and charity and kindness and goodness and sort of this helping hand, this, we are equals, you are my equal, my brother, my sister. They do feel that way. This is the majority, right? But we are still in the process of helping people to get fully in touch with that, and to collectively bringing about this kinder, gentler, more accepting, sort of better day. But of course it's coming, because the universe balances in love. But it is a process, and it's not a 6 month process, and it's not even a 2023 process. This is a many year, multiple decade process. But it always leans, and even in that time, as we're sort of coming to a full flowering, it still is the greater part of the world is good. The greater part of the people are good. And that's why you get this Two of Pentacles, which I love, because even though they are pentacles, these earth cards, they're wrapped in the infinity symbol, talking about the eternal nature of the ways in which people are equal and bound to each other. And I love this imagery on the Two of Pentacles and the vice versa, because look at the back here. This reminds me so much of the Fool card, where he's stepping into something. He's almost like this, looking like this sort of court jester, but he's stepping into something, and there are people watching. This is like the aristocracy, right? They are looking down on him. And even as he sort of does this in this playful way, they're learning from here. Remember, the whole world watches light. It's hard to see in the darkness. But when we see that glow of light, just like this glowing infinity symbol that talks about our soul selves, our eternal selves, our help from our guides, when we are in darkness or in light, our eyes are drawn to that. Our hearts are drawn to that. And this is so important in this year and going forward, and so important in each of our individual lives. We are constantly observed by others, just as this figure is in the Two of Pentacles here in this vice versa deck. And that can mean our children, our siblings, our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers, people on the street. And that doesn't mean that we're necessarily under like the microscope or under scrutiny. It's simply the truth of being in the world, right? We see each other, we feel the vibration of each other. And it's so important to have this loving glow within us. Again, that doesn't mean we're always sunshine and roses. We don't always have to have like this sort of happiness facade, especially if it's not the truth and we're going through something. But even in those moments when we're going through something, if we have this loving, basic, the most basic part of it, our soul selves shines through, emanates from us, right? It emanates from us that we have just a loving energy. Then we are seen and we are noticed, and we spread that naturally, that vibration. As I said in the one reading that I posted, it finds each other. These molecules of love find each other. They glom onto each other, and they build these greater pieces of love, these greater pods of love that consume us and bring us forward. Like they wrap around us in that way, right? They protect us from many things. And I mean, when I talk about protecting, I'm talking mostly about negativity that doesn't allow us to move forward, right? So they bring us forward in all things and in love and light. This year, they say, is a project in love and light. We're building something. We're creating something. They show me, I've done this so many times for so many kids and grandkids. You build a project in school and then you take it in, you fifth graders have to make a volcano, or here in California, I think it's fifth grade, fourth or fifth grade, but you build a mission, the California missions. They study them in California history, and so everybody like builds mission, or at least they used to. I built many a mission in my day, but that's what they're talking about. Think of it like a school project, an Earth School project that we're putting together, and we are collectively and individually presenting to our class, our Earth class. We're building these projects, and what project will you build? Whatever you build, they're calling on you to build it in love and light, because this is what moves us forward. And believe me, these projects built in love and light will endure. They won't crumble like the projects built on very earthly things and lacking soul. Greed, power, dishonesty, even hate, they crumble. But our projects that we're building, and it's especially important because in many ways we're laying a foundation this year in these projects we build going forward, right? For this forward movement. This year is important in our individual lives and sort of central. The next 2 years, they say, are very central to building this very strong foundation in love and light. So build your individual projects in this way, whatever they are, and how many there are. There can be several. Build them in love and light and kindness and caring, and they will endure and be part of the greater project, the greater human experiment that we are all a part of. So there you have it. I hope this is helpful. I hope that it gives you something to think about for this upcoming year and in our lives, going forward in our lives, in all of our lives. I'm very thankful to my guides for helping me through this this reading, because I feel like it's important, and I'm happy. They know me. They know what I'm like. They know how I want to, present things and the kind of work that I want to do. So it didn't sort of veer off into like specific predictions. Again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's a lot of people out there who are very, very good at that. But it's not like my thing. And they helped me to get through this, and I hope that it's helpful to all of you. I feel like I trust my guides, because they certainly know more than I do, right? But I do hope that it's helpful to you. I'll be back with more readings and more actual readings, those kinds of little videos, and with some more stuff throughout the year. I have a few things that I want to let you in on that are my projects. So I'll talk about those in upcoming videos as well. So again, thank you for watching. Till next time, please take care of yourself. Please take care of others. Please consider the projects in your life. And until next time, bye for now.